What's up, YouTube? This is my first time recording at home. It's my first time recording in the backyard, and it's also my first time recording at night, and I kind of like all three. So if you are interested in hearing about my tips for how I scored an 86 on the ASVAB, keep watching.
Hard work, work it up, out a quarter to three. Hard work, work it go and earn my pay. Hard work, work boots on and lace them up.
I wanted to do a quick video on how I scored an 86 on the ASVAB. Ugh, it's bugs. How I scored an 86 on the ASVAB. So, a little bit about my process. When I met with my recruiter, I think it was on like a Wednesday, he scheduled me for the ASVAB that following Monday. So, let's see. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I took the ASVAB on Monday. So I had approximately a good 5 days between the time that I met with him and the time that I actually had to take the exam. So to be honest, I didn't have any time whatsoever to study. My recruiter did recommend that I download the ASVAB Mastery app, which, even though I didn't have a lot of time to use it, I did find it incredibly helpful, especially just to have something on the go. So I just wanted to give, like, I would say my top 3 tips of doing well on the ASVAB. The first tip is chill. Like, don't stress out. It's easier than the SATs, in my opinion. It is way easier than the AFOQT, which is the officer qualifying exam. It's easier than the LSAT, the MCAT, the GRE, pretty much any other standardized test. I haven't taken the SAT since high school. It's been a while since high school, but I don't remember. For some reason, I feel like the SAT was a little bit more difficult. So I scored an 86 on the ASVAB with about 5 days to study. Now, a little bit about my background. I do have a degree. My degree is in political science, nothing particularly special or smart. It's in political science. I will say that having that extended education did give me more confidence going into the test, and confidence is key. So if I have to order my tips, I would say number 1 is be confident. Like, walk into that test believing that you're absolutely going to smash it. The second tip is download a couple apps and don't buy any books. Like, go to your local library. There's tons of study materials, whether you are preparing for the ASVAB or any other standardized test. The library has an entire stock of practice material, books. I mean, you can't write in them, but you can do scanned copies. It's so much cheaper. It's so cheaper, so much more cheap to just go to your library than to purchase the books online. Seriously. And I mean, unless you have months in between the time that you're going to take the exam, it's not really worth paying for anything, because there's so many resources at the library and online that purchasing things is really just a waste of money, in my opinion. So number 1 is be confident. Number 2 is download apps. And the ASVAB Mastery app I did think was helpful. There's another app called, there's like bugs everywhere. There's another app called Quizlet, where if you do have an ASVAB book that you're borrowing from the library, you can input all of the information into the app, and it will like generate practice questions. I've used this in other times of my life in college, and I found it to be very, 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 very useful. So confidence, apps, the library, and also just breathe. You have a lot more time to take the exam than what you realize. The AFOQT, the Air Force Officer Qualifying Test, goes by so fast. So fast in that, like, when I was taking the ASVAB, I didn't realize that I had as much time as I had, and I probably would have scored over a 90 had I realized that I had more time earlier in the test, if that makes sense. I'm not great at math, which says a lot. I mean, I struggle greatly with math. But I did well enough. I mean, I scored high enough to qualify for every job in the Air Force. So the only thing that's going to disqualify me from something is my physical. So yeah, those are just my tips. Be super confident, like you know so much more than you think. So don't stress out over it. Just be cool, go into it knowing that you're gonna smash it. Yeah, and so those are my tips for the ASVAB. Unfortunately, I don't have like a detailed study plan or anything. It's a lot of it is common sense, common knowledge. I don't mean to like gas you up or anything, but you probably can pass this test. Like,